Hi, hello everyone, welcome back to QNAP Live Broadcast. And we are back again this week, and we're going to talk about something similar that we talked last time. And we have Josh, and you might already know what kind of products Josh already has, but we will talk about that after to introduce the product. Because last week we were talking about VJBolt Cloud, which was the introduction of a new feature that we have to manage the cloud storage, but that was the block level based one. And this time we are going to introduce the file level cloud storage solution that we provide as a gateway to integrate with other cloud service providers that we have, and that is the HybridMount, which previously was known as CacheMount. Yes. So previously was known as CacheMount, and this is now called HybridMount, so not to confuse the viewers. It is the file-based cloud storage gateway, allowing public cloud service providers to access the local NAS, and we can have everything in one place. And we will talk more in details about it today as we see what is the agenda for today. All right. So the file-based cloud storage gateway, we divide in these main parts. The first, why you need the cloud storage gateway. What are the trends, why is everyone going around it, and what are the benefits of doing so. And then we will have another part which we are going to talk about the new file-based cloud storage gateway, which we have two modes that we are bringing, and followed by the demo which Josh is going to demonstrate it for us. And then another part is going to be to create a global file share. Maybe here we talk about the scenarios mostly, right? And we have the permission management with local users, cost reduction, and integration with many of the QTS applications that we have and solutions that the QNAP NAS offers, and make the best use of it. So the cloud storage is actually a buzzword, not only, but it also is in the hot trends of every enterprise willing to move their storage and have a transparent move of the data on the premises of the cloud to public clouds and across private cloud deployments. So we have this combination of all those. And another thing is that a lot of enterprises and a lot of people, and not only enterprises, are actually using a lot of different cloud storage providers, as each and every one of them has different advantages. They have their own pros and cons and so on. And then in this case, we would need a multiple cloud storage management solution, a central place to manage all of those, a central place to interact and bring all these cloud services, and not only, but also the local devices that we have connected, like the private clouds, and bring it all in one place. And the best solution would be to have something in between, because there are a lot of issues and a lot of problems that people might face when they are using, for example, all of those without having this central point of management. So they have questions like, how do applications access all these data on the cloud directly from different places, as we see here on the left hand side, and how to easily manage all these multiple cloud storages, and how can users in each location access the files without a low latency, because latency, it is a very important part when accessing files, especially the ones that we are talking is the file-based cloud services. If we are accessing from different places, a team, and it takes a lot of time, well, that would be not the best and most efficient way of using any of the cloud services. And then another one would be how to set up the user permission for local users. As you keep, for example, some confidential data that you don't want to share it with everyone, or you want to give them only read access and only not write access and so on. How can you do so? Well, we have a solution for that, and we have the cloud gateway called the QNAP NAS. Therefore, the questions that if you don't have that one, there are a few problems that you might face when accessing cloud directly if you're not using the cloud way. So you are there on the left hand side, we see that it is technical to deploy file share and applications, and then unlike accessing local storage, accessing to the cloud directly, it's very inconvenient and it's slow, right? because it is internet connection. But on the right hand side and the other hand side that we have the cloud gateway by QNAP NAS, we can access the cloud storage through it to transfer the cloud storage local file system or volume. Then we have the advantage of using the protocol conversions that we already know and we are familiar with like the Samba, NFS, even ArcSCSI to access the cloud. And the third one, not least, which would be the NAS local cache that we are going to use, which lowers the latency when dealing with the cloud service providers and if we are keeping our files over there. So it has its own pros to have the cloud gateway. And as mentioned, yeah, we have these benefits of the cloud storage gateway. First was they support more access protocols. Already talked about it. Can transfer the access protocol so you can access the cloud storage to it. CIF Samba, FTP, NFS, AFP, iSCSI. And also it's very convenient for any OS that you have, Windows, Mac, Linux. Any user can access the cloud simply and fast. And for that is also the local-like access speed for the speed and fast that we are talking about. It keeps the access files in the NAS cache space. So we will talk more about this cache space, right? We call it cache engine, if I'm not wrong. Is the cache engine? Well, we have to allocate a cache space to transfer the experience of the internet LAN and lower the latency. And then there will be the efficient cloud usage. By efficient cloud usage, as mentioned earlier, it says that enterprises can centrally store all the data from different offices by using the public cloud. So it is flexible, enjoy the elasticity advantage for storage extension, and reduce the cost of bandwidth. Because as we know, cloud is also based on demand, right? And based when many users need to access the same file, they can access the cached file actually. So this would be one of the main solutions that the gateway, especially the QNAP NAS as a gateway, is going to provide in this hierarchy or structure that we say we are willing to provide the users and our QNAP users to interact with. So as mentioned at the beginning of when we started the live broadcast, we talked last week about VJBook Cloud, which is the block-based cloud gateway, and today we want to focus on the file-based cloud gateway, which is the HybridMount, and it is suitable for multiple location offices to share the files, easily access and reduce the bandwidth, working across teams, working across, especially if you are working in different geographical areas, you have offices in different places, different cities or different regions. This would be a very good team interacting and relationship building, and also deal with every project that you have right on spot. So both of these support object storages, but HybridMount supports 7 file storage cloud service providers also, increasing the number of cloud service providers. And if I'm not wrong, this might increase, right?
Yes.
Yeah, by the time. And if HybridMount has features like the space mount and centralized management, and also the cloud file synchronization with multi-endpoint. And we talk about some other parts that Snapshot, for example, is supported by VJBook Cloud, but not necessarily, not on the HybridMount as it is on the other end, and but it has access on the cloud. And the other advantage that both of these two have are the local access protocols, increasing the speed of interaction with the cloud service. So this is the gateway and mount architecture that we have for HybridMount. First, we see the 2 modes as I announced in the beginning of this one. We will talk in more details about this, but also we have the VJBook Cloud part from the block level based cloud gateway. Focusing on HybridMount file-based cloud gateway, we have the file access part where we have the file services accessing the local ones from the local protocols, Samba, NFS, AFP, and so on, FTP, WebDAV, even QSync, which is the QTS solution that we have for accessing the fast, and also it has two-way and one-way both solutions to the hybrid mount. You want to explain more details about this one?
Yes, so you can see that we have VGBox Cloud as a block-based cloud gateway and HybridMount as a file-based cloud gateway. And we will have the dedicated storage space for VGBox Cloud and a dedicated cache space for HybridMount Cloud Gateway for us to access cloud storage faster. Yeah, and we will have our we develop our own virtual file system to help us to access the cloud storage through the HybridMount.
Okay.
Yeah, so for the end user, we can very simple, very easy to access the cloud storage through the local through the access protocol like Sandbox NFS. Yeah, and we also have a second mode in HybridMount, which is file station mount mode.
Right.
And we can mount the cloud storage and the remote storage like remote NAS or your servers. And we mount the remote storage directly into a file station, and we can access in file station. Yeah.
Yeah, so these are the two modes that you were explaining, and the architecture of this one, and all these lead you to the cloud storage that we have provided there, and you see the cloud service providers listed over there, which we will mention by name later on. So we have the QNAP file-based cloud storage gateway HybridMount, and I see that you have here bring clouds closer. Like,
yes.
what do you mean by that?
We bring the cloud closer to the local, so we have we can management your hybrid cloud.
Okay.
Yeah, so we bring your cloud closer to your local storage, and also we bring your clouds closer to each other, so
All
you
right.
can have multiple cloud management.
All right, that's cool. That's a very well thought. So all the clouds closer to one another, and clouds closer to you,
Yes.
to your computer or whatever device you're using. Good one. So we mentioned the two modes that we have, right? So HybridMount gives these two modes based on the demand or what we are looking for, right? So is the file station mount mode that you mentioned just earlier in the architecture, and the other one the file cloud gateway mode that we provide. And they have the setup method, which the first one is mounting the cloud drives, and the second one is a file cloud gateway mode, which creates a dedicated cache space.
Yes.
So once we have the dedicated cache space, is that we put it all there in this cache engine, and then we can access these files much faster from our device, whatever we are trying, once we are caching with all the files that are in the cloud, right? And they also have, for example, the first mode has no limit of connections, but the other one, the file cloud gateway, when we are using the cache space, it has two free and perpetual connections. So meaning that you have to purchase licenses if you want to have more connections on it, right? And then the accessing performance depends on the network speed, but the other one has high performance due to the cache and cache space that we already allocated, and direct access to the files. And we have access in the file station by both, and access through Samba, which the file cloud gateway mode supports it, and it is actually the one that makes reduces the latency of the reduces the latency when you try to connect from a device directly to the cloud. With this one, it is much faster, and also it syncs with the cloud. Whilst the file cloud gateway, the second mode syncs because constantly for quick access, and the other one it syncs only when it's browsing. But the integration is on the second mode, as it supports many of the QTS applications that we have. We talked earlier. We have here a CQ search, and we have some of the multimedia solutions, and also probably more.
Yeah.
So bring and manage your own cloud. So with hybrid cloud, you can create your own cloud to enjoy the storage gateway benefit. So you call it BYOC benefits.
Yeah.
Bring your own, bring and manage your own cloud. If I'm not wrong, bring your own cloud.
Yeah.
So it has the managing your own cloud storage with numerous data, with large files, and as many times as you want. Support many different cloud storages. We mentioned already it has the 11 object and 7 file-based cloud storage solutions and services that we have out there. And the third one, you can manage multiple clouds in the same page, right? So this also can be managed. We might actually see it later in the file station when you mount them, right?
Yes.
And then there would be some limitations, of course. So you cannot manage the gateway through the cloud user interface, and the file modification in the cloud can be detected after the gateway sync with the cloud. So these would be minor limitation, but we just want to put it out there and let the user know that there are some of these. But the benefits outweigh the limits by far. All right, so this is if I'm not wrong, the first mode that we are going to talk, the file station mount mode that we mentioned, and also we did the comparison in the previous slides. And now we're going to see more details how this one actually interacts and brings hybrid mount with a cloud service provider, and how it does QNAP NAS interact as a cloud gateway in this mode. So we see the web mobile device access that we have can be the user, and then we access it actually through the file station. File station is, for those that don't know, is the authentic file manager by the QTS on the QNAP NAS. And with this one, you can manage all public and private clouds in the file station. We can see it once you mount them through the HybridMount, they will appear on the left-hand side. And it supports two types of cloud services, as mentioned already, and the third access protocol for the remote file connector, as we said. So it goes with this hierarchy on the cloud connector and the remote file connector, depending on which one you want to choose, which path you want to choose. And also you can have a connection from all of them in central management in the file station. So supporting these two types of cloud and 3-access protocol for remote devices, as mentioned by far, is that what they have in common, the file-based storage and object-based storage, is that the storage pricing on these depends pricing depending on the actual storage used, and the file-based storage pricing is depending on the fixed capacity, right? So what they have in common is price. You have to pay for those. But remote device, you, for example, can be another NAS, and you don't need to pay on that for on demand. But if you have another device, can be another NAS, can be another computer, you can actually mount it through the remote device through the access protocol, SIF, Samba, FTP, WebDAV. But also you can mount it to access the cloud services from the device through the gateway as a QNAP NAS. And yeah, the file-based storage data can be by the folder structure, as we know. They have this folder structure, while the object-based storage, cloud storage, they have this unstructured data. It is in the flat environment. It's like a bucket that we put all the data there, and they are unstructured. So when we retrieve them, we actually need something that arranges those for us, which HybridMount does. So this is how it looks like on the left-hand side, the object cloud storage spaces. There are just a bunch of data there, and it is very unstructured and everything. So when we are trying to retrieve them and try to recall them from the cloud, the NAS as a gateway actually does the structure transformation and arranges it for you, right? For example, we take from the bucket A, and he arranges the B, C, D files for us, and then through the fast protocol local-like connection, Samba, AFP, we can see the devices in our computer the way that we want to. So this is one of the very good solutions that QNAP NAS provides as a gateway with a cloud, especially with the object-based storages. So yeah, with a file station, we have it here. We can manage all the public and private clouds in the file station, as I mentioned earlier. So this is how it would look like on the left-hand side. So we have the local NAS, we can have a USB connections, we have also the cloud storages and mobile devices, and it can be a structure as the one on the right-hand side I have from this screen. It says left. We have the cloud service providers, another NAS, and other external devices all connected, and all can be managed on one page called the file station. And the next mode would be the second mode, the file gateway mode, right? And this one is a little bit different because first we are using the local protocol connections like Samba, NFS, AFP, FTP, and WebDAV to connect to the QNAP NAS as a gateway where we create the cache space, right? So once we create the cache space, we actually make use of the cache engine. So we have the dedicated cache volume and cache engine where the NAS as a local cache can lower the access of latency. It actually can increase the speed of accessing files on the cloud, either file-based or object-based. So with this mode, we have the file gateway mode, which it goes from the it has the separation through the cloud file connector for the file storage and the object storage connector for the object storage cloud services, syncing the files in the NAS and on the clouds, which is a two-way, I believe, and supports two types of cloud, as we already mentioned by far. Anything to add here?
No.
Okay, so I'm doing good.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, as mentioned, we have this supporting two types of cloud. Even the file cloud gateway mode, the second mode, it is similarly supporting these two, and it has also the same features and as in the previous one, as the storage data on the file-based one is by the folder structure, while on the other hand the object-based is on the unstructured data, and it is a flat environment bucket-like, just dropping all the files over there, which they are useful based on purpose, like depends what enterprise is using it for what purpose, but HybridMount is there to provide access to both of those. And the differences would be on the pricing depend of the fixed capacity one and the other on the actual storage usage. So supporting more access protocols, it means that we actually access faster and we have more options to reach the data and retrieve the data from the cloud, and not only. So we can read very fast, we can have the gateway protocol conversion, you can access your cloud data in any of the external devices, regardless whether you're using SMB, FTP, AFP, or any other protocol. It is very fast and keep the NAS in between your computer and the cloud. So creating the local cache, as we kept mentioning by far, it actually increases the speed of accessing, lowers the latency of accessing this data. So once we create a proper size of this cache volume, we can have unlimited cloud storage like local transferring. And then, but we have some suggestions that we want to give here, right?
Yeah.
So each gateway file share needs a dedicated cache space. So we have to create this space with a minimum space of 20 gigabytes, right?
Yes.
And then we have the suggested size of cache space, which you brought a formula here. Maybe you can talk more about this one.
Yes. So these formulas we can separate to two parts. The first part is the uploading part, because when we upload file, we write a file to the NAS, and we hope the NAS to help us to upload to the cloud. Right. So the file will temporarily store in the cache space. So how much size you need is depends on how much file you will store in the NAS for in that time. So you can see this formula. We said that the speed of writing to NAS, which is the input data input into the cache space, right, and the speed of uploading to the cloud, which is the data output. Yeah, because after we upload to the cloud, the data could be removed because it is already synced to the NAS, into the cloud. So the speed of writing to NAS minus the speed of uploading to the cloud, which is the net input of the data to the cache space. And we multiply the time, how many times you will use continually. Yeah, right. And multiply 1.4 the number because we need to distribute part of cache space to read cache. So we have to multiply 1.4. And the second part, we can go to the next page.
All right.
The second part is that the demand of data always keep in cache, because we have a feature if you want to keep some data always in the cache forever. Yeah, you can set data in the cache forever, and it will take some space. So you need to allocate some space for them. Yeah.
Okay. So then also we have the fast access. So when we keep these access file in NAS cache space to transfer the experience to the internet LAN and lower the access latency. Say for example those that we have in the cache space forever that you kept mentioning, or any other files that we keep on the cache space. So what would be first would be syncing the metadata to read the file list fast. So mount and then use without download all cloud data to the local NAS. We see here the number one. So we can get the metadata, so we know what it is, what kind of file we have, right? And the second is accelerating when reading cache files. So the files will be downloaded from the cloud, and they will be kept in the local cache volume. So after the first access, for example, once we check it what it is, after this it will be kept on the local cache volume there. So it will read the cache file, and you don't need to actually download it again and again and again. So one time is enough, access it like it was there always. And the third one is cache uploading files. So it goes similarly, but it goes from the other side right now, where we upload the files to the NAS through the LAN connections, which is much fast, and all the work can be done on the background by the NAS itself, uploading it to the cloud, and you don't have to worry about the time, and you can actually keep working on your computer. So when opening, for example, a multimedia file, this could be, say, a video or photos or anything, right? So this is how it will look like with the cache engine that we have. And let's say first step would be sending a request to read the file, double clicking, right? And then what the computer is going to give this signal in two ways. We have read the cached files. So first it goes to confirm if the data are cached or not. So it actually gives a signal and goes to the cache engine. Says, is this cached? Yes. If it's cached, then it can go through read the cached file and then check if the cached file there and do the cache hit, as we call it here, and open it instantly. If it's not cached, then it does the request of the reading file similarly. But what it does here, it checks first, it gives the request in the cache engine to download the file from the cloud, bring it in the cache engine, and then hit the cache again. Which it is, at first, it is a cache miss, but then once you bring it down, it is a cache hit. And once it is placed in the cache engine. So we read the cached files anyway. So in both sides, we read the cached file, and it has to come in the cache engine, which supports reading and downloading files at the same time to enhance the multimedia reading experience. You can play the video, you can put photos, and yeah, videos is the best video. All right, even audio. So this is a really good explanation, I believe, and it's very self-explanatory if you read every step and how the cache space works with a computer. So when editing, then syncing the files, so this is a little bit different, right? So here we have a file system at the first, cache engine and cloud connector again. Then read the file on the cloud to edit is that first we download the whole file from the cloud to the NAS cache space. So, it does that. Okay, so it brings here. Yeah, we want to go with this one? Maybe you can explain.
So first we need to download the file so that we can open it.
Yeah,
we need to download a complete file. And next, after downloading, after we read it, and we will, after we edit it, and we want to send sync to the cloud again, and so we will write to the NAS. So after it override the original cache file, then we finish the local write process. For our PC, we finish it. And next, the NAS will help us to upload this file to the cloud. And before upload to the cloud, we will check that if the file on the cloud have another new version, because the data might be accessed by another one or by another device. So we need to check if there have any new version between we download the file and we edit the file. Yeah, so after we check it, and we will upload the file to the cloud. So after the file upload to the cloud, we finish the sync process. Yeah.
All right. So this changes, they upload the files because it realized there were no changes. It was the same one as you downloaded.
Yeah.
All right. And then we have the, want to go this one also?
Yeah. So here show how our cache engine do. For user, we don't need to management the cache data. We don't need to think that how if the cache space is full, how can I manage the data? We don't need to think that because our cache algorithm can help us to remove the less recently used data. So here you can see in this picture when the downloading or uploading data, when we need to download or upload data and the space is full, and we will remove the cache algorithm will remove the less recently used data. However, we also provide 3 customized cache rule for you to management the which data you want to remove first. So we have always keeping cache, normal, and low priority. The first one, always keeping cache, means that this data you set as always keeping cache priority will always keep there forever. This data cannot be removed even the space is full.
So this one would be some data that you use, or you need to use them every day.
Yeah, frequently or very important. You hope you can open it very fast. You don't need to wait anymore.
Okay.
Yeah. And for the low priority data, the file will also keep in cache for a while, but when the space is full, this file with a low priority will first remove. So you can set the less important data as a file as a low priority. Yeah.
All right. The next would be keeping the cache, keeping files in the cache in advance to reduce the first reading time. So this would be the one as you mentioned when you keep
the
them.
way how we set the data as always keeping cache priority. Yeah. So first we need to have a space to store this kind of data. So we distribute the reserved cache space. Yeah, and here is a reminder that if your reserved cache space is insufficient,
Sufficient.
and some file will still be removed by cache algorithm because there's not enough space. Yeah, so at that time we will suggest you to adjust the cache space distribution rate, or you can expand the whole cache space. Yeah, and the second step is how you select the cache priority for folder. You just go to Mount Management and click the cache priority, and select the folder you want to set there its priority to always keep in cache. And also, because after you set the folder as always keep in cache, the system will start to download the data to the cache. Yeah, and we will have a download progress.
That would be the download progress, would be the small green ticket that we have right there.
Yeah, you can see that that data is downloading or data is up to date.
All right. And the next one would be visible usage status of the cache space. So we will have this bar, which it is actually showing the green first. It would be file list of the metadata that we keep sync and keep all files metadata to the list. And the actual violet, what color is that one? Is it violet? Okay.
Yeah.
Purple. No, it's purple, right? Reserved cache space. So this is the important part that we want to talk. Actually, is where the data are stored, and it is the one where we always keep in cache as a priority. And this is this place where the data will not be removed by the cache algorithm, similarly as they will not be removed by the green part, as in the same by the yellow part, use write cache, which will not be removed. So these are the 3 ones that they will not be removed from the cache algorithm, and we have to understand also what each color means, because for example the yellow one that we see here has the data cached in cache space and ready to upload to the cloud. After uploading, it will become red again, or purple, red. And we have the blue one where we store the data, so this is used read cache, and we also have on the lower end the reserve cache limit, and on this one actually the maximum storage is always keeping cache. So in this one, when the space is not used, it might be used by read cache, right?
Yes.
So there is it is flexible, and it can actually scale in this one. So it is very flexible. When you're not using something, it will use for something much better or much faster, like when we need the reading to read the read cache part. And also we have the maximum write cache and the free cache space, the space that we left it blank and we haven't been using it so far. Yeah, this shows, that's why I wanted to talk about this part, is that it shows the flexibility and the scalability of the cache space with the HybridMount and make use of the cloud storage that we provide here. And then this would be another part that we want to talk about, the file cloud gateway mode, which is syncing the files in the NAS and on the cloud, and which is synchronized as a mechanism to keep the files in the local and the clouds consistently together. And first would be the data sync management, then we will talk about the resource management, uploading management, file conflict management, as it could be file conflict management as well. Actually, you talked some of its part, you talked about it earlier, but this time it's going to be a more conflict management scenario where we will discuss what it would be, and the file sync status that we can see over there, which goes both ways. In this case, as number 1, 2, and 5, they go both ways. And the other one, upload, of course, goes from NAS to the cloud, and the file conflict can go from NAS to the cloud again. So maybe you want to talk in more details about these points.
Okay. So the first point is that we sync the metadata of the cloud data, because we need this metadata to show the file list.
Yeah.
So for file-based storage, we will constantly synchronize the metadata to make sure the data are all up to date. For object storage, we will have the schedule to sync, because every metadata sync will be a request, and the cloud provider will charge you this request. So we let the user to set the schedule by themselves. So for example, we suggest you to only update the time period you access the cloud frequently, to reduce the cost. Yeah.
All right.
So the second one is the resource management. This is the part which is, we will release in the next version. It's not still not developed down in this version.
Okay.
This is really a very important part that I want to introduce now. Yeah, because we know that when uploading and downloading a file via file cloud gateway, the HybridMount will use the CPU and the RAM resource and also the bandwidth resource. So based on the NAS model, they will have a restriction of the amount of uploading and downloading data at the same time. So you can see the table here. For the high-end NAS, we can support, HybridMount can support upload 80 files at the same time and download 80 files at the same time. And for middle NAS, which is 20, 20, and low NAS is 10 and 10. So we can manage the resource to every gateway connection. So for example, we have the example here, we take middle NAS as example. So the total upload resource are 20. Right. So and we can arrange the reserved resource to A connection. We assign A resource to A, and we assign 7 resource to B. Yeah, which means the A connection can upload 8 files at the same time.
All right.
And B connection can upload 7 files at the same time. Yeah. And there are There are some resources which are not assigned. We call it shared resource, which can be shared to A connection or B connection.
Okay.
So if we take B connection example, if we have maybe 20 file we want to upload.
Okay.
So we have 7 resources we can upload, guarantee upload 7 file at the same time. And we can also use the shared resource 5. So totally we can upload 12 files at the same time.
Okay, using the shared resource
Yes,
5 that we have.
So you can see here we have a limit. You can set a limit to the connection, which means if you don't want this connection to use too many shared resources, you can set a limit. For example, we set a limit to B connection as 10. So B connection have 7 reserved resources, and it can only use 3 shared resources because the maximum is 10.
Oh.
Yeah, so B connection will only use 3 shared resources. So by this setting, you can separate. You can arrange the resource to different connection based on maybe different cloud storage have different you use for different purpose. For example, we use A cloud for machine learning. We use B cloud for big data analysis or storage. So different cloud you can set different. You can give them different resource. Yeah. And also we have the QoS rule. Each connection will have 1 QoS resource. You can, for example, you can set a file size smaller than 5 megabytes to use this QoS resource to upload.
Okay.
For example, some company will need to upload the log file.
Yeah.
Log file is very important. But if other people upload the video, which is very big,
yeah,
it will take a long time. So the log file cannot upload. Then you can set the QoS rule to let log file use this QoS resource to upload the cloud first.
okay.
So next part is the upload management. In mount management, you can click the upload, and we will have the upload table. You can see the upload file list with their file name and progress, and also you can see the upload record and the upload error. The upload error list will list the file failed to upload to the cloud and the reason why it cannot upload to the cloud. For example, some cloud provider cannot accept the file, maybe 20 gigabytes. If your file is more than 20 gigabytes, you cannot upload it. And some have a different rule for the file name. So if you have some data which cannot upload to the file, you go to the upload error page and see the reason. And you need to solve this reason so that the file can upload to the cloud. Yeah, so there are a reminder that when the file share cannot connect to the cloud, the uploading and the upload error file will not sync to the cloud. So at this time, if you want to delete your file share, you must wait for all data uploading successfully or backup those data. Otherwise, you will lose this data. Yeah. And this part shows you the how we deal with the file conflict. Because we know that file on the cloud might be added by other way beside of HybridMount.
Yeah.
They might be added by another NAS or another computer directly. So when the file added in local and uploading by HybridMount, it will detect that if there is a new version on the cloud. Okay. If we know that there is a new version, then we will rename the local file and then upload this local file. Yeah, and you need to go to the edit page to set up this upload policy to choose the check for conflict and rename local file. Yes, because every check is also a request from the object storage, so it will also cost a little bit money for you.
Okay, so
yeah, so if we suggest that if the cloud storage is only being accessed by this NAS, this HybridMount, we suggest you don't need to check because there will no other to edit your
It will
cloud
be
data.
only from the NAS.
Yeah.
But if it's from another device, then they will check.
Yeah. And this part we talk about we can know the file cache status and the sync status in file station. And here we show you 4 scenarios. The first scenario is if we read a file, at the first time the file is on the cloud, so the status will show you this is on the cloud only. And then we double click and to open it, and the file is going to download. So we can see that. So we will see that the file is already, after download, the file is already cached and synced. And if we want to upload the file will first write into the cache. So you can see the file is cached, but it is wait for uploading. It is in queue. And after that, it is going to uploading. You can see the uploading status. And after it's uploading to the cloud, you can see the status is going to cache and sync. And if you edit the cache file, we just mentioned it, this scenario before, the file was already cached and synced before. And after you add it, we need to upload it again. So the file will, the status will be wait for uploading, and the next is uploading. And after uploading, it will go back to cache and sync. At this time, the data on the cloud will be a new version.
All right.
Yeah. And the fourth scenario is the cache file is added on the cloud. If the cache file is on the somebody added this file on the cloud, and we detect that there is a new version on the cloud, we will download this again to replace the cache data, cache file. So the status will be downloading, and then it will be cached and sync again.
All right.
Yes.
So, okay, this is about, here you want to tell us about the safety remove from, to switch off actually the file station mount from the hybrid mount that we have, right? So there are 3 steps. Why we need to do this? Because we don't want to lose the data. It's like safety remove switch that we want to do it first, so we have to check. So for doing so, we have the first step is delete file share or switch to file station mount mode, where we have under the more button there, and we can see we have 2 options, but we have to system check if there is some data that have not been synced by far. So that's the second step. You have to check for that. If that's okay, then you can remove and then delete or switch mode, and successfully delete or switch mode by that. If not, then you have the system message that you will be getting it by our system here. So it will let you know that deleting this connection also deletes the local cache space that we have, and then we have to check if there is something there. So all this process has to be done, check. If you want to apply it, you just simply go delete now and then remove, successfully delete or switch the mode, or you have the other option that you go with the delete after the update has been done. Once everything is fine, once everything is clear, you can move on with the process. We just want to remind you to actually check before you take any other step in this regard. And without further ado, we can go and see all of this through a demo video by Josh that we have now, through all what we have been talking so far for HybridMount and all the 2 modes and all the cloud gateway that we are willing to provide you as a solution with the QNAP NAS today. All right, so we can go back to the demo here.
Okay, so we go to HybridMount. Okay, so first we create a file station mount mode connection. So we go to create a remote mount, and at this time and at this step you can choose the mode you want to create. So first we create a file station mode, and I choose the Amazon. I just enter the key.
Okay. So you choose, this one is one of the object-based
Yes.
services that you chose.
Okay, so we search the bucket. And we support secure connection. If you need, you just click this, create. Okay, so we go to mount management and see this is already, we just create, so it is still mounting. And after it's mounted, we can go to file stage to see this connection. So we just wait a moment. Yeah, it is mounted. So we go to file station and see.
Alright.
The Amazon connection is here, and we can see our file here. Yes.
Okay.
So this is file station mode. It only can be accessed in file station. So this time we can have the speed test. You can see speed test here. You can have a speed test to test how this connection upload, the speed of upload and download to the cloud. So we will actually upload some data onto the cloud and download them to NAS. So it will spend a little bit time.
Alright.
Yes. So you can choose the connection which is faster to use. Yeah, you can see the result here. Okay, so now I want to switch this connection to file cloud gateway mode.
Okay.
So I just here are some warning to let you know our QTS, some application like Search or multimedia service will to index your file, will download the file. So here you can see this this option is upload policy. We just mentioned that we can choose to check the conflict and rename the local file. And here is the update schedule. How often we want to sync the metadata to on the cloud. So we can set only workday. I want only workday to sync. Yes, like this. It's really simple. And next, we need to create a dedicated cache space for this connection. And at least here you can have the cache space distribution. You can set some space for the reserve cache and some space for the write cache. Yeah, you can set here. And the minimum of the read cache and the write cache is 25%. Yeah. So apply. And it will like the process to create the volume in the storage and snapshot, so it will take a little bit time.
Okay. Volume HybridMount.
Yeah.
It's created the volume over there.
Yes.
So it gives a pop-up by the QTS letting you know that it actually is performing the task. Right? So probably this would not take too long anyway, but what we're doing so far is what we talked, okay?
Yeah, so it is still mounting. We wait a little bit time.
Okay. Or maybe we can check the user interface of the HybridMount and see that what we have here on the left hand side. We have the panel of the overview, mount management, and also we have the logs. We were talking about the logs, which is actually very useful. Also, if we have multiple devices, what has been the activity and what, and we said not only devices, but we have a lot of cloud service providers out there, so we are using all these cloud storages in one place, so we can check the logs from which cloud, which file is coming, what has been the movement, and what has been everything working on, and which has the highest frequency of usability.
Okay, so this time this gateway is already mounted. So at first time we mount this gateway, we can go to the cache priority, because at this time we only sync the metadata. The file will not be downloaded. Yeah, so if we have some data which is really important for us, we want them those data to download to the cache first, so that we can fast access. So we can go to cache priority and set a folder as always keeping reserve cache. So I set this folder as always keeping reserve cache. And maybe some like text file, which is really not important for me. I can set a low priority here. So apply. And we can go back to see. This file is I set as always keeping cache, so the data is ready to download to the NAS. So here show you the downloading progress.
Okay.
Yes. So I'll use another connection to demo the following process. I use this Wasabi cloud storage. In this storage, I have already put one file there. You can see this is the video file, and the status is on the cloud. Yeah, and we can see how long time we need to take to open this, to watch this video.
All right.
We just double click, and we said that we support reading and downloading at the same time. So you can see it don't need too much time to download the file, to read and download the file.
Yeah, because also you're uploading
Yes.
for the cache, so you're using the space. But anyway, at the same time it's playing, and the video will be buffering also at the same time. You see, as it started moving over there, yeah, you can play it, and also you see the highlighted gray area over there that is buffering, and also can be playing at the same time.
Yeah. So you can see after I play, and it will download from the cloud to NAS, and it's showing the cache and sync status. Yeah. Okay, so this is download, and how can we upload? We can use the Sandbox protocol to use our Make Finder.
Okay.
So here I have already mounted. I can show you again.
Okay. You want to mount it again?
Yeah, I mounted it again.
This is the local.
I use the Finder, and I mount the server for NAS, and you can see. I just need to type the password, login.
So first you're doing a local connection to the NAS from the computer
so
to the NAS.
See, I can mount this connection, the web Wasabi. It is the same as
Directly.
Yeah, and I okay, and see here we have the same file here in same as the file station, and it is very easy to just drag and drop to upload the file. We just drag this file and drop, and the file will upload to the NAS first.
Yeah.
And it will be take a little bit time to see.
Now you can see also there it's moved.
Yeah, it is moving. You can see the file is
also
moving.
there.
This file is moving. Oh, oops, this is in Chinese. Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So after the file moved to the cache space, HybridMount will help us to upload this file to the cloud. So we can go to HybridMount.
So you just upload it to the NAS in the cache space, and the QNAP NAS will take care of everything to upload it back in the cloud, and you can start using your computer with whatever you were doing without being bothered again, without being concerned with the bandwidth or anything for your direct access that you want to have. Yeah, well, we got the point of this one.
Okay, so we can see the cache priority we just said before. It should be it's down. So we go to file station and see this connection. You can see all files are still on the cloud, but this folder is cache and sync because we set it as a keeping cache state priority. So we open it.
All right.
Yeah, you can see the status is already cached, and it is always keeping cache. And also, you can do this process in file station. You can just right-click on the folder.
All right.
Right-click on the folder, and then set always keep in reserve cache. and this folder will start downloading by HybridMount. Yeah, you can see this HybridMount has started downloading the data. Go to HybridMount to see the status. Okay. So that is the demonstration.
All right. So maybe this was the video demonstration. So we can go back and check the last part that we have for today is creating a global file share. So maybe here we will see some kind of suggestions, scenarios, architectural models that we have and how this actually works and what would be some of the advantages when the cloud storage can be accessed from anywhere in the world. As I mentioned, I earlier accessed cities or regions, but it can also be this far from Japan, Taiwan, or even the United States. And the public can centralize all data in different location and have the extension. And the second would be users can access the cloud with the familiar way, like it means the Samba, any other protocol conversion that they want to use. In the lower end that we see here, we have the files that are synced. Someone can have the access for read only. For example, the team in Japan, they don't have the access to edit any of the files. So we give them also the integrate the NAS user permission that we have in the QNAP NAS. Through the QTS, you actually go under the user management solutions that are there, and you can assign this team to have the read only, while the other two teams can actually do the changes and everything, but do the write and the synchronizations of the files. This would be one way to do the cloud, or we have also this. All right, maybe show it. So this file is moving from type A to the cloud, and it can distribute it to all the two NASs from the same cloud, and then they can get the information. But once they get the information, the Tokyo team can only read it and not edit it, but the New York team can actually put their contribution in it and do the changes, and also share it back with everyone else. And we talked about the permission and taking advantage of the NAS that can provide you this. Assign the permission of the cloud storage to local users. So you can have the NAS and HybridMount as a gateway, and as an administrator or the admin user can actually assign the user permission management by going there. We have file share permissions right at the more, and we can set the domain user settings by the app ID, can also work either way, and set the cloud storage. Then we have many users, or as many users as we want to have, and everyone has its own role there, and have access to the cloud files, to this one. But also what we mean, one of the main advantages is also the reduction of the bandwidth cost, because as you see the one on the left hand side is getting 3 different files to 3 different devices, while you can do it only one time, get it one file to one device like the NAS, and also much faster because you have the local network to get it from to every other computer. And this one also reduces the bandwidth cost because it is based on requests, right? So on the left hand side we are doing 3 different requests, which means that you have to pay probably 3 times more than pay on the other one that you pay only once, because it's a one request, and then distribute it to other devices through the gateway, which is called the QNAP NAS, with the HybridMount integration in the cloud with the cloud service provider. So this integration can also happen for a better management, for more efficient utilization of the data and all the files through the QTS apps. For example, we have the search engine that is really powerful, which is called the Q search, which helps to search the data across different cloud storages. So say you have Amazon S3, you have Dropbox, you have the other one and the other one, and you don't remember where you stored a certain file. All you have to do, access Q search, and it will directly find the file for you and tell you actually which spot it came from, or where in which cloud service it actually is. And also it can do the cross search, right, through the local other local devices, through the NAS itself, and through the cloud service. It provides you all this one, and it is also very powerful. That has its own amazing features. Go check the Q search more, go check the Q search videos that we have on more of its features, how to use. But also we have the Q filing, which is the filing rule, which not only use the QTS from NAS to cloud, but also make use of it from one cloud to the other cloud, where we can actually arrange the data and set one cloud as the source,
Yes.
and the other one as a destination, and make we can use it, say, for PDF, create image to PDF that we have over there, or compression, or any other advantage that Q filing has. Also, if you want to know about Q filing, go to QNAP.com, or all other videos. And multimedia that we just saw Josh performing the video earlier, but you can have the same experience using QTS multimedia, like video station. You can actually open through videos to the video station QTS application that we have in the NAS, or play music, or even make use of QMAG, which has amazing features with its face recognition. All right. So for this one, we also want to recommend some models, and you want to talk about this one because you emphasize on the recommended maximum file share that we have from 2 to 16, right?
Yeah, because based on different NAS, their CPU, their RAM, we suggest the maximum file share, which is the gateway connection. We suggest the maximum R2 for the lower level NAS, and 4 for the medium level of the NAS, and 16 for the higher level of the NAS.
Yeah, so we also provide different solutions of the NAS. These are just the recommended models. So if you want to know more, or if you have a NAS that you like more, go check the features, go check QNAP.com, check all the solutions that QNAP brings on NAS for you, and especially now with a HybridMount. So this is HybridMount for today, for better hybrid cloud experience, and we can call it a day. Go back to live.qnap.com to check our videos like this, or many other videos like this, and we'll see you next time. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.